The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets above the crowded frat house basement, but all I could hear was the shatter of glass as my beer bottle slipped from my numb fingers, exploding across the sticky floor just as Jake's voice cut through the thumping bass. "Who the hell let this poser in?" My heart slammed against my ribs like a caged animal, the room spinning as every eye in the Sigma Chi pledge party turned to me. Me, Ethan Hayes, the kid who'd spent weeks faking his way into this world of jocks and keg stands, all to steal one more glance at the guy who'd haunted my dreams since freshman orientation. And there he was, Jake Harlan, the beta captain himself, towering in the doorway with that easy, sun-kissed grin frozen into something sharper. His blue eyes locking onto mine like spotlights on a stage I wasn't ready to perform on. I froze, the shards of glass glinting under the strobe lights like tiny accusations. The bass from the speakers throbbed in my chest, sinking with the panic rising in my throat. Sigma Chi's Pledge Week was supposed to be my golden ticket, a chance to reinvent myself from the awkward theater kid in the dorms to someone who belonged here, in this sweat-soaked brotherhood of future alphas. But Jake's words hung in the air, thicker than the haze of cheap cologne and spilled natty light.
Pussy.
The label I'd feared since I'd first spotted him tossing a football on the quad. His laugh carrying like a siren's call to every closeted heart on campus. "Ethan? Dude, what happened?" That was Tyler, my reluctant pledge brother, clapping a meaty hand on my shoulder as he knelt to mop up the mess with a solo cup. Tyler was the only one who'd bought my story hook, line, and sinker, that I was a transfer from some podunk high school in Ohio, clueless but eager to bulk up and fit in. He dragged me to tryouts for the intramural flag football team, where Jake captained the betas with the kind of effortless command that made my stomach flip every time he barked orders. I forced a laugh, but it came out choked, like I'd swallowed gravel. "Slippery fingers, man. Blame the ice." The crowd chuckled, the moment diffusing just enough for me to breathe. But Jake didn't move. He leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed over his broad chest, that navy polo straining against muscles honed from endless hours in the weight room. His hair was tousled from the wind outside, and God, those eyes, piercing blue, like the Pacific crashing against the cliffs back home in Oregon, before my parents shipped me off to UCLA to toughen up. Home. That's where this all started, in the rainy gloom of Portland, where I'd spent high school buried in scripts and stage lights, kissing boys in the wings of community theater productions while pretending it was all method acting. But college was supposed to be different. A fresh start in the land of sun and reinvention. Except reinvention required a mask, and mine was cracking faster than I could patch it. Jake pushed off the frame, weaving through the throng of pledges and brothers like he owned the night. Which, in a way, he did. Sigma Chi revolved around him. The star quarterback for the Bruins scout team, the guy who could charm a sorority row into silence with one crooked smile. I'd first seen him at Rush Week, holding court on the lawn, and something in me snapped. Not lust, not exactly, though yeah, that was there, simmering under my skin like California heat. It was need. The need to be seen by someone who embodied everything I wasn't. Bold, unbreakable, unapologetically straight. Or so I thought. He stopped inches from me, close enough that I caught the faint scent of his soap, citrus and pine, clean like a hike through the Sierras. "You good, rookie?" His voice was low, teasing, but there was an edge to it, like he was testing waters he didn't trust. Rookie, the word I'd begged Tyler to use when introducing me, to explain away my fumbling drops and weak spirals during practice. It bought me time, proximity, hours watching Jake from the sidelines, memorizing the flex of his forearms as he snapped the ball, the way his laugh lines crinkled when he high-fived the team. "Yeah, Captain. Totally." I straightened, channeling every improv class I'd ever taken, my voice steady despite the tremor in my knees. The party surged back to life around us. Girls in crop tops giggling at the beer pong table, pledges chugging from funnels. But in that bubble, it was just us. His gaze flicked to the mess at my feet, then back up, lingering a beat too long on my lips. Or maybe I imagined it. Wishful thinking was my specialty. He clapped my shoulder, firm and warm, sending a jolt straight to my core. "Clean it up, Hayes. Can't have our newest beta looking like a klutz on night one." Then he was gone, swallowed by the crowd, leaving me with Tyler's sympathetic grin and a floor full of regrets. That night, I lay on the scratchy futon in my off-campus apartment, the distant hum of Westwood traffic my only lullaby. My roommate, Mia, a theater major with a nose for bullshit, had crashed early, her scripts splayed across the coffee table like fallen soldiers. I stared at the ceiling fan, its lazy spin mocking my racing mind. Why Jake? Why now? Back in Portland, I dated quietly. A barista with tattoos, a violinist from Reed College. Safe, shadowed romances that ended in mutual ghosting. But Jake was daylight, danger wrapped in charm. And I was the moth, wings singed before I even touched the flame. Pledge week blurred into a haze of push-ups at dawn. Charity car washes where Jake's wet t-shirt clung like a second skin. And late-night mixers where I'd nurse a solo cup and steal glances. I was good at the act, laughing at bro jokes, quoting ESPN stats I'd Googled in the library. Tyler became my anchor, oblivious to the undercurrent pulling me under. "You're killing it, man," he'd say after practices, slapping my back as we trudged to the showers. Showers. Plural. Communal. The stuff of my fevered what-ifs. But I kept my eyes on the tile, heart pounding with the thrill of almost. It was on day 5, during a brutal two-a-hand touch football scrimmage on the intramural fields, that things escalated. The sun baked the grass into submission, the Santa Monica Mountains hazy in the distance like a promise of escape. Jake had me paired against him, defense versus his offense, his body a wall of heat and muscle as he juked left, then right. I lunged, too slow, and he spun past me, spiking the ball with a whoop that echoed across the field. "Hayes, you gotta commit, brother." He jogged back, helmet under his arm, sweat tracing paths down his neck. The team catcalled, but he ignored them, zeroing in on me. "What's eating you? You play like you've got secrets weighing you down." Secrets. The word landed like a gut punch. I wiped my face with my jersey, the fabric sticking to my chest. Just adjusting cap. New team, new city. Lies stacked on lies, each one heavier than the last. He nodded, slow, like he was filing it away. "LA's a beast. Swallows you whole if you're not careful." Then softer, "But hey, stick with me. We'll get you up to speed." His hand lingered on my elbow as he steered me toward the water cooler. And for a split second, the world narrowed to that touch, electric, unspoken. That evening, at the gym in the Ackerman Union, I pushed myself harder than ever. The clank of weights and squeak of sneakers was my confessional, where I could pretend the burn in my muscles drowned out the ache in my chest. I joined the team gym sessions uninvited, tagging along with Tyler, just to watch Jake transform under the harsh lights. Veins popping on his biceps as he deadlifted, his breath steady and controlled. Tonight, the place was packed. Holiday break looming, everyone cramming in last reps before turkey and family drama. I was on the bench press, racking empty bars to feign effort, when Jake appeared beside me, towel slung over his shoulder. "Spot me, rookie?" His grin was all teeth, predatory in the best way. Yeah, sure." I hopped up, palms slick as I positioned myself at his head. He loaded the bar heavy, 245s on each side, and settled under it, his eyes meeting mine in the mirror across the room. 1 rep, 2, 3. On the 4th, he grunted, the bar dipping dangerously low, and I leaned in, hands steadying it just above his chest. Our fingers brushed. Accidental, fleeting, but enough to spark something feral in me. "Got it?" he exhaled, racking the weight with a clang that reverberated through my bones. He sat up, chest heaving, and fixed me with that stare again. "You're stronger than you look, Hayes." Flattery or flirtation? My brain short-circuited, words tumbling out before I could censor them. "Coming from you? That's something." I leaned against the rack, closer than necessary, my voice dropping to match the intimacy of the moment. "You're like a machine out there. Makes a guy wanna keep up." His laugh was low, rumbling. "Careful, Ethan. Talk like that, and folks might think you're trying to impress me." The words hung, laced with ambiguity, and I swear his gaze dipped to my mouth again. Heat flooded my face, but I held it, leaning in just a fraction. Testing, teasing, the air between us thick with possibility. Then Tyler burst through the doors, hollering about post-gym burgers, shattering the spell. Jake pulled back, clapping my shoulder like nothing happened. Burgers sound good. You in, Rook? I nodded, mute as they filed out. But as I trailed behind, heart hammering, I couldn't shake the thrill, or the terror, because in that gym under those lights, I'd flirted, out loud, with the beta captain, and if he caught on, little did I know he already had. The next morning dawned crisp and golden over Westwood, the kind of LA winter day that tricked you into forgetting the wildfires and traffic snarls waiting just beyond the palm trees. I woke to Mia banging around the kitchen, her voice a cheerful assault on my hangover. Earth to Ethan, you look like you wrestled a bear and lost. Spill. What happened at the pledge party? I groaned, burying my face in the pillow that smelled faintly of her lavender detergent. Mia was my safety net, the one person on campus who knew the real me. Theater geek with a penchant for Sondheim and stolen kisses in dark booths. We'd bonded over audition callbacks and bad coffee, her straight arrow pragmatism balancing my dramatic flair. Nothing. Beer mishap. Jake called me a poser. She slid a mug of coffee onto my nightstand, black and scalding, just how I liked it. Jake? As in God's gift to frat row? Honey, that's progress. Poser means he noticed you. She perched on the bed's edge, her dark curls a wild halo, eyes sparkling with mischief. Details. Now. I sipped, the bitterness grounding me. How to explain the pull, the way Jake's presence rewired my neural pathways. It's stupid. I'm playing pretend to get close, and it's working. Too well. The gym moment replayed in my head. His laugh, the brush of skin. Like a scene from some indie rom-com. All longing glances and swelling strings. Mia's brow furrowed. Pretend? Ethan, you're not in a play. This is real life. Hearts get broken in the end zone, not just on stage. She squeezed my hand, her touch sisterly, steady. Just be you. Whoever that is. Be you. Easier said than done in a city built on facades. I dressed in my bro uniform, faded Levi's, a Bruins tee that hung loose on my lanky frame, and headed to class, script analysis with Professor Lang, where we dissected Tennessee Williams' Fragile Men. Glass menageries, indeed. My phone buzzed as I crossed the quad. Tyler, group chat blowing up with practice reminders, and a private text from Jake. Solid spotting last night. Oh, you won. Beers after? My thumb hovered, pulse racing. Beers. Casual. But with Jake, nothing felt casual. I typed back. Hell yeah. Rookies gotta eat. Sent. Deleted. Resent. Sounds good. Cap neutral. Safe. Practice that afternoon was a gauntlet under the relentless sun. The field a patchwork of green and brown where dreams of glory clashed with reality's turf burns. Jake ran us ragged, suicide drills, pattern routes that left me gasping, my cleats chewing up sod as I tried to match his stride. Hayes! Eyes up! He shouted mid-play, his arm whipping the ball in a perfect arc. I dove, fingers grazing leather, but it slipped through, rolling to a stop at his feet. He scooped it up, jogging over with that predatory grace. Close, but you hesitated. Up close, sweat beaded on his upper lip, and I fought the urge to trace it with my thumb. What's in your head, man? Girl trouble. The team hooted, but his tone was genuine, probing. I shrugged, forcing nonchalance. Nah, just figuring shit out. Lies again, but they tasted less bitter this time. He nodded, tossing me the ball. We all are. That's why we're here. Then, quieter, as the others broke for water. Hey, about last night. Your form's off, but your heart's in it. I like that. His hand on my shoulder again. Lingering. Electric. By beers o'clock, the campus bar was a zoo. Coeds and Uggs, bros in snapbacks, the air thick with fry oil and flirtation. Tyler claimed a sticky booth in the back, Jake sliding in across from me, his knee brushing mine under the table. Accidental? I shifted, heat crawling up my neck, but he didn't pull away. We talked football first, safe territory. He lit up recounting his high school glory days in Orange County, the beaches and bonfires, the pressure of being the golden boy. Dad's a coach, you know? Expected perfection. Still does. His voice dipped, vulnerability cracking the armor. What about you, Rook? Ohio roots. My cover story. Small town, strict folks, football scholarship that fizzled. Yeah. Folks wanted me to bulk up, be the man. Truth wrapped in fiction. His eyes softened, like he saw the echo of his own cage. Family's a bitch sometimes. He clinked his bottle against mine, foam sloshing. To figuring it out. Hours blurred. Stories, laughs, the bar emptying around us. Tyler bailed early for a hookup, leaving us alone in the dim glow of neon signs. Jake leaned in, voice husky from the second round. You're different, Ethan. Not like the other pledges. Real. Real. The word undid me. I met his gaze, emboldened by the buzz. You too. Under all that captain shit, you're human. My hand grazed his on the table, deliberate this time. He didn't flinch. Instead, his fingers curled slightly, holding. The moment stretched, charged, until the bartender's call for last rounds shattered it. Outside, the night air was cool, stars smudged by city glow. We walked in silence toward his off-campus house, shoulders brushing. At the steps, he turned, closer than friends should be. Night haze. Night cap. I echoed, but as I walked away, I felt his eyes on my back, burning. That weekend's formal was Sigma Chi's crown jewel. A black tie affair in the Wilshire ballroom, chandeliers dripping light like liquid gold over tuxes and gowns. I borrowed Tyler's ill-fitting suit, the bow tie choking me like a noose. Mia had curled my hair, dusted my cheeks with bronzer. Channel your inner Ryan Gosling, she teased. But don't forget to breathe. The room swirled with champagne flutes and whispered deals, alumni mingling with undergrads like sharks in a chum bucket. Jake was magnetic in his tailored tux, escorting a sorority girl whose name I forgot instantly. But his eyes found mine across the dance floor, pulling me into orbit. Later, as slow songs crooned from the speakers, something old school, Sinatra maybe, he appeared at my side, drink in hand. Dance? My brain blanked. Me? He grinned, tugging my arm. Yeah, you rook. The floor was crowded, bodies swaying in dim light, and he pulled me close. Not too close, but enough that his cologne enveloped me, his hand warm on my waist. We moved awkwardly at first, my two left feet shuffle against his easy rhythm. But then it clicked, bodies sinking like we'd rehearsed. You're full of surprises, he murmured into my ear, breath hot against my skin. So are you. The words slipped out, laced with intent. His grip tightened, just a fraction, and for a heartbeat, I hoped he'd close the gap. But then his date tapped his shoulder, all smiles and expectation, and he pulled back with a wink. Duty calls. I retreated to the bar, heart a war drum, nursing a ginger ale that burned like whiskey. Tyler found me there, slurring about some pledge prank. Dude, you and Jake? Vibes. Vibes? I laughed it off, but inside, panic bloomed. Vibes meant visibility. Visibility meant risk. Monday's gym session was my undoing. The weight room echoed with grunts and iron, the air heavy with ambition. I was mid-set on the cable machine, arms burning, when Jake sidled up, spotting without asking. Push it, Ethan. You've got more. I did, straining for that last rep, his encouragement a lifeline. That's it. Fuck, you're strong. His voice was rough, intimate, and when I racked the weight, panting, he was right there, faces inches apart. No one else in the moment. No pretense. Jake! I started, the dam cracking. But then the door banged open, and in strode Brock, the team's enforcer, all tattoos and temper. He'd been gunning for my spot since day one, sniffing out weakness like blood in the water. Harlan, who's your little fanboy? The room hushed, weights pausing mid-clank. Jake stepped back, mask slipping into place. Chill, Brock. Hayes is solid. Brock's laugh was ugly, eyes narrowing on me. Solid? Kid can't even throw a spiral straight. What's your deal, rookie? You even play ball back home. The lie stuck in my throat. Jake's gaze flicked to me, expectant. Tell him, Ethan. I swallowed, voice steady. Yeah, varsity starter. Just rusty. Brock snorted, but Jake nodded, diffusing it with a clap on Brock's back. Lay off. We're building a team here. Practice ended in a blur, but the seed was planted. Doubt. And as I showered alone, always alone now, paranoia prickling, I overheard Brock in the locker room. Bet the Rook's hiding something. Saw him eyeing Harlan like fresh meat. My blood ran cold. Fresh meat. The phrase echoed as I dressed, hurrying out into the dusk. Jake caught me at the curb, leaning against his Jeep. Hey, ignore Brock. He's all bark. Yeah. I forced a smile, but it wobbled. He stepped closer, concern etching his features. Talk to me. What's really going on? The truth clawed up. I'm gay. I'm here for you. I'm terrified. But fear won. Nothing. Tired. He searched my face, then sighed. All right, but doors open, man. His hug was brief, brotherly, but it lingered on my skin like a brand. That night, alone with Mia's empty apartment, her off at a callback, I cracked. Curled on the futon, phone in hand, I scrolled Jake's Insta. Beach pics with the team, him shirtless and laughing, captions full of beta strong. Each image a knife twist. Why him? Why this charade? Because he saw me, or the me I pretended to be. And in that gym, that dance, those beers, I'd glimpsed something real. Mutual. Or was it? The betrayal brewed slow, like a storm rolling in from the Pacific. It hit on Thursday, during Hell Week hazing. A midnight hike up the Hollywood Hills, blindfolds and trust falls under a moonless sky. Tyler and I stumbled along the trail, ropes binding us to the brothers ahead. Jake led, his voice a beacon. 1 foot at a time, betas. Trust the line. Trust. The word mocked me as branches snagged my jeans, the blindfold itching against my lashes. Whispers rippled back. Brock's voice, low and venomous. Rook's faking it, pulled his high school records. No football. Kid's a theater fag from Portland. The world tilted. Fumble. My foot caught a root, and I went down hard, knees barking against rock. The line halted, Jake's hands yanking off my blindfold. Ethan? You okay? But his eyes, confusion, then pity. No. Worse? Distance. Brock's revelation hung unspoken, the group shifting like I'd dropped a live grenade. Slipped? I muttered, scrambling up. Dirt caked my palms, blood trickling from a scrape. Jake's hand hovered, then dropped. We finished the hike in silence, the city lights twinkling below like indifferent stars. Back at the house, the brothers dispersed to beers and bullshit, but Jake pulled me aside in the garage, the air thick with oil and exhaust. Talk. Now. I leaned against the workbench, tools glinting like accusations. Brock's right. I lied. No football. Just wanted in. Wanted to belong. His jaw tightened, arms crossing. Belong? Or something else? The question sliced, laced with the unspoken. My chest caved. You. All of it. From the first day. The confession spilled, raw and ragged. The pretending, the flirting, the ache that had hollowed me out. Silence stretched, brutal. Then, fuck Ethan. Not anger, hurt. I thought. Shit, I don't know what I thought. But this? It's messed up. I know. Tears burned, but I blinked them back. I'm sorry. He raked a hand through his hair, pacing. Me too. Because, damn it. He stopped, close again, his breath mingling with mine. I've been fighting it. The looks, the touches. Thought it was bro stuff. But it's not. The world stopped. Jake! His hand cupped my jaw, thumb rough against my stubble. Shut up. And then his lips were on mine. Tentative, then fierce, tasting of salt and secrets. The garage spun, tools forgotten, as we crashed together. Hands in hair, bodies pressing. A kiss that rewrote every lie. We broke apart gasping, foreheads touching. "This changes everything," he whispered. "For the better? Hope, fragile." He smiled, small but real. "Yeah, for us. But betrayal doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It slithers in on whispers and sideways glances." The next week unfolded like a dream laced with barbed wire. Stolen moments in the gym's shadowed corners. Jake's texts lighting up my phone at odd hours. "Miss your laugh. Meet at the pier?" We drive out to Santa Monica, windows down. His hand on my thigh as the ocean roared approval. Nights tangled in his sheets. The frat house asleep above us, where words weren't needed. Just breaths synced, vulnerabilities bared like offerings. "Your poetry," he'd murmur into my neck, fingers tracing the freckles across my shoulders. And I'd believe him, in those hushed hours, that we could rewrite the script. Two boys building something unbreakable amid the chaos of college life. Yet the frat loomed, a colossus of tradition and testosterone. Tyler cornered me one afternoon in the student union, his burger half-eaten, eyes wide with rumor mill frenzy. "Dude, Brock's stirring shit. Says you're, batting for the other team. And Jake's involved." My fork paused midair, salad wilting under the fluorescent glare. "Rumors are just that." He leaned in, voice a stage whisper. "Come on, Ethan. I'm your brother. If it's true, hell, I don't care. But Brock? He's out for blood. Wants you bounced before initiation." The fork clattered. Blood, Brock's vendetta, born of jealousy over my rapid rise, as he called it. I'd caught him glaring during practices, his tackles a hair too vicious. Now, with my secrets exposed, he had ammunition. "Thanks for the heads up." Tyler clapped my back, loyal as ever. "Watch your six, man." I texted Jake from the library stacks, the air musty with old paper and forgotten theses. "Trouble brewing. Brock knows." His reply buzzed instant. "Handled. Trust me." Trust. Again that word, slippery as wet tile. But when he pulled me into the equipment room after practice, padlocks clicking shut behind us, doubt melted under his kiss, urgent and affirming. "I talked to him," Jake said, forehead to mine. "Told him to back off or he's off the team. You're in, Ethan." "We both are." "We." The pronoun wrapped around me like armor. That night, at the initiation bonfire on the beach, flames crackling against the tide's murmur, pledges chanting oaths under a star-pricked sky, I stood shoulder to shoulder with the brothers, Jake's pinky hooking mine in the shadows. The dean of pledges lit the pyre, intoning vows of loyalty, and for once, I felt it. Belonging, bone deep. But cracks spiderwebbed. Mia noticed first, over late-night ramen in our apartment, steam curling like ghosts. "You're glowing, but it's haunted. What's the cost?" I stirred noodles, evading. "Just falling hard." She set her bowl down, eyes piercing. "Falling's fine, but landing? Make sure it's mutual." Jake's world, frats, football. It's not built for this. Not yet. Her words echoed the next day, during a team meeting in the frat lounge. Brock slouched in the corner, nursing a grudge visible as a bruise, but he kept quiet under Jake's glare. Instead, it was the alumni rep, a silver-haired suit from the 80s, droning about legacy and upholding standards. His eyes lingered on me. Then Jake, a flicker of something old-world and disapproving. After, in the kitchenette, fridge humming like a judgmental ant. Jake pulled me close, his whisper fierce. "Ignore the dinosaurs. This is our time. Ours." I clung to it even as the first real storm hit. Family weekend. Jake's parents flew in from OC, all khakis and expectations, booking the Beverly Hills Hotel like it was a conqueror's tent. He invited me to brunch. "As a brother," he joked, but his eyes begged for more. I went, stomach knotted, playing the eager pledge in chinos that pinched. His dad, Coach Harlan, was a brick wall in human form. Handshake like a vice, questions rapid fire about my background. "Ohio, eh? What position you play?" "Receiver, sir." "Lie number infinity." Mom was softer, pearls and perfume, cooing over Jake's tales of my progress. But under the linen tablecloth, Jake's hand found my knee, squeezing. A lifeline. Or a noose. That night, post-dinner at Musso and Frank. Steaks and scotch for the olds. Soda for us. Jake snuck me into his hotel suite, the city sprawling below like a glittering trap. We collapsed onto the king bed, ties loosened, laughing at his dad's corny jokes. But laughter faded into quiet, his head on my chest, heartbeat syncing with mine. "Dad asked about you after you left," he said, fingers toying with my shirt button. "Thinks you're a good influence. If only." The if hung heavy. "They'd kill you if they knew." He tensed, then sighed. "Maybe, but fuck him. I choose this. You." His kiss sealed it, slow and reverent, hands mapping familiar paths. We didn't rush, never did, just savored. Bodies a language of yes in a world of numbers. Afterward, tangled in Egyptian cotton, he whispered dreams. Post-grad road trip to Yosemite, a place of our own in Silver Lake. Futures painted in broad strokes, ignoring the fine print. Monday shattered the canvas. Practice ran long, rain sluicing the field like tears from indifferent gods. I slipped on a wet pass, twisting my ankle, nothing major, but enough for the trainer to bench me. Jake fussed, icing it in the locker room, his touch gentle amid the chaos. "Stay off it," he ordered, but his eyes said stay with me. I limped to the carpool, Tyler driving, Brock shotgun. Silence stretched, then Brock twisted, grin feral. "Heard you and the cap got cozy this weekend. Hotel romps? Classy." Tyler stiffened. "Drop it, man." But Brock laughed, low. "Nah. Whole house is buzzing. Pics from the formal, you two dancing like prom dates. Alumni saw. Coach Harlan? He's pissed. Pics. My blood iced. Someone had snapped us midway, too close, and now it was viral in the group chat, whispers turning to roars. I bailed at my stop, ankle throbbing, phone exploding with notifications. Jake's text, "Meet at the pier." Now, the boardwalk was deserted, waves crashing like accusations. He waited on the sand, hoodie up, face stormy. "It's out." Brock leaked the pics. Dad called. "Fucking reamed me." "I'm sorry." The words felt inadequate, sand shifting under my feet. He paced, fists clenched. "Not your fault. Mine. I should have shut it down sooner." He stopped, eyes wild. "They want you out. Say you're a distraction." Liability. The word gutted me. Liability. Not Ethan. Not us. And you. He deflated, shoulders slumping. I fought. Told him to fuck off. But Dad's pulling strings. Threatening to yank funding for the program if I don't toe the line. Funding. The invisible chains of legacy. So what now? His voice broke. "I don't know. God, Ethan, I don't want to lose this. The team. You." But the or was implied, a chasm widening. We stood there, rain mingling with tears, the ocean indifferent. He pulled me into a hug, desperate, but it felt like goodbye. That night, alone in the apartment, Mia found me on the floor, ankle propped, phone clutched like a grenade. "It's over," I choked, the story spilling in sobs. She held me, fierce. "No, the shifting. Fight for the real story, Ethan. Not the pretend. Fight." But how, when the villain wore the face of family? The climax crested midweek, at the annual Beta Bowl, Sigma Chi's charity flag football tourney against rival houses. Stadium lights blazing over Poly Pavilion's practice fields. Tickets sold out. Alumni packed the bleachers, banners snapping in the breeze. Jake had begged me to sit it out, for your ankle. But I suited up, tape wrapping the pain like denial. Pre-game huddle. Jake's speech rang with fire, eyes locking on mine amid the circle. "This is for us, brothers. No holding back." Still there, flickering. The whistle blew, and chaos reigned. Tackles thundering, cheers deafening. I played wide out, adrenaline numbing the twinge, hauling in passes that blurred the line between grit and grace. Jake orchestrated from the pocket, his throws lasers, our connection electric even across the turf. Halftime tide, sweat-soaked and surging. In the tent he cornered me, helmet off, hair plastered. You're killing it. His kiss was quick, hidden by shadows, but potent. Second half, momentum shifted. Brock, subbed in for a starter's rest, targeted me. Hits late and low, elbows flying. Fairies got wings. He snarled on one crunch, refs blind to the malice. Jake saw, roaring from the line. Enough! But the damage mounted. A strip sack on Jake, fumble recovered. My route blown by a jam that left bruises blooming. Final drive down by 3, clock ticking. Jake dropped back, eyes finding me downfield. Double covered, but open in heart. The ball spiraled perfect and I leaped, fingers kissing leather. Intercepted. Brock's hands, triumphant, sealing our loss. The field erupted, rivals whooping, our side stunned. Jake stormed over as I hit the grass, ankle screaming now for real. You good? Before I could answer, Brock loomed, jersey ripped. Told you, Cap. He's poison. Jake whirled, shoving him chest to chest. Back the fuck off. This is on you. Alumni surged from the stands. Coach Harlan at the fore, face thunderous. Harlan, control your team. It devolved shouts, shoves, refs pulling bodies apart. Jake spun to me, hand extended. Ethan. But Dad yanked him back, grip iron. Not now, son. This ends. I limped off alone, the roar fading to a hum, Mia waiting in the lot with ice and outrage. Call him, she urged, driving me home through blurring lights. I did, voicemail after voicemail. Please, rages, silences heavy with what-ifs. 2 days passed in radio silence. Campus a minefield of stares and snickers. Then, Friday night, a knock. Jake. Rain slicked, eyes hollow. Can I come in? Mia vanished tactfully, leaving us on the couch, space between like a fault line. Dad cut the funding bluff, made it real. Teams scrambling, practices canceled, boosters pulling out. My throat closed. Because of us. He nodded, wrecked. I told him, everything, the pretending, the me. A laugh, bitter. He called me confused, said get help or get out. Jesus. I reached but he flinched. I love you, Ethan. Fuck I do. But this. He gestured wildly. Frat, family, future. It's crushing us. Love. The word I'd chased, now a weapon. So we end it? Tears tracked his cheeks. I don't know how to fight and not lose everything. We clung then, desperate, the kiss tasting of salt and surrender. He left at dawn, silhouette fading into fog. Betrayal's sting peaked that weekend, not from Jake, but Brock. Leaking voicemails to the house chat, my confessions twisted into tabloid fodder. Pledges iced me out, Tyler texting apologies. Sorry, man, pressure's on. Mia plotted revenge, anonymous tips to the dean, but I waved it off, hollow. Let it burn. Monday's theater class was my refuge, William's fragile illusions mirroring my own. Post-lecture, Professor Lang pulled me aside. Your soliloquy last week, raw. Channel that pain. Art heals what life breaks. Heals. Maybe. The turning point came unbidden. A package at the door, Jake's handwriting shaky on the label. Inside, my borrowed jersey, laundered and folded, with a note. You were never a rookie. You were the heart. Forgive me? Pier. 8 p.m. Heart pounding, I went. The boardwalk hummed with evening strollers. Ferris wheel lights winking like conspirators. He waited on our bench, sunset painting him gold, vulnerable, resolved. I quit the team, he said, no preamble. Told Dad to shove it. The frat too. For us. You what? Shock, then warmth flooding. He took my hands, calluses rough from ropes untied. You're right, pretending kills. So I'm not. I'm out. Proud. With you. Tears blurred the horizon. And the fallout? We'll fall. But together. His smile tentative. We rebuild. We kissed there, public and unashamed. The world a blur of waves and witnesses. Not perfect. Scars lingered, battles loomed, but real. Human. Months blurred. Joint editions for campus shows. Jake discovering stage lights suited him. Road trips to Big Sur, sleeping under stars unburdened. Mia's barbecues, Tyler defecting to our side with beers and bro hugs. Graduation dawned bright, diplomas in hand, futures uncertain but shared. We loaded a U-Haul for Portland, my city, our fresh start, frat banners traded for scripts and surfboards. In the rear view, LA shrank, a glittering memory. Ahead, open road, open hearts. No more rookies, just us, captains of our story, navigating storms with hands entwined. And in quiet moments, Jake's whisper, worth every risk. Yeah, it was. The aftermath of Jake's coming out rippled like aftershocks through our world. But in the best way, tectonic shifts that realigned everything. Portland welcomed us with its familiar drizzle, a balm to the scorched earth drama we'd left behind. My parents, ever the liberal arts enthusiasts, took to Jake immediately. Dad bonding over craft brews and bad puns. Mom dragging him to Powell's City of Books for inspiration. No grand interrogations, just quiet acceptance that felt like grace. We crashed in my childhood bedroom at first, posters of Rent and Phantom still curling at the edges, before scoring a tiny craftsman bungalow in the Alberta Arts District. Rent was steep, jobs scarce, me waitering at a queer-friendly cafe, him coaching youth soccer with that infectious energy. But mornings started with coffee on the porch swing, his head on my shoulder, the Willamette River murmuring distant secrets. It's weird, he admitted one foggy dawn, mug steaming between us. No hiding, like I can breathe deeper. I kissed his temple, tasting rain. You deserve that. We both do. But scars don't fade overnight. Nightmares woke him sometimes. Echoes of his dad's voice, disappointment laced with venom, frat chants twisting into jeers. I'd hold him then, whispering lines from our shared stage reads, tomorrow is our permanent address. Cheesy, but it anchored us. Summer bloomed into additions. Me chasing theater gigs, Jake dipping toes into community improv. Our first joint callback, a production of the Laramie Project at Artists' Repertory, voices for Matthew Shepard's story. The intimacy of rehearsal hall confessions bonded us tighter, his hands squeezing mine during monologues on loss and love. You're a natural, I teased post-run, toweling sweat in the green room. He grinned, pulling me close. Learned from the best. That soliloquy you did? Gutted me. Gutted. The word evoked our climax. The bonfire betrayal, Brock's sabotage, Jake's hotel tears. But here, in this space of art and empathy, it transformed. Pain alchemized into power. Fall brought challenges. Jake's family radio silence shattered by a curt email from his mom. We're trying, son. Give us time. He read it aloud, voice steady but eyes glassy. We burned sage in the backyard that night. Mia's going-away gift. Scented with banish the bullshit. Toasting to boundaries. My own ghost stirred too. Portland's theater scene. Rife with old flames and fresh envy. At a cast party for my Steppenwolf one act, an ex, the violinist from Reed, cornered me by the punch bowl. Heard you went full rainbow in Cali. Ballsy. Happy? The question pricked. Happier than I've ever been. He smirked, glancing at Jake across the room, charming a knot of actors. Cute, but jocks burn out fast. Doubt flickered, but Jake's laugh carried over, pulling me back. Later, in bed, I confessed. He traced my jaw, serious. I'm in, Ethan. No burnout. Promise. Promises held, mostly. Winter holidays tested us. His parents' tentative invite to OC, neutral ground at a cousin's. The drive south was tense. Radio scanning classic rock to fill silences. Arrival. Awkward hugs. Dad's handshake firmer but eyes averted. Dinner was a minefield, small talk skimming politics. Football stats a safe harbor. After pie, in the den amid faded trophies, Coach Harlan cleared his throat. Son, about everything. He gestured vaguely, including me in the orbit. I was wrong. Raised you to win, not to hide. Proud of you both. Jake's exhale was seismic. Mine too. We left lighter, his hand in mine over the console, stars streaking like blessings. Back north, spring unfurled with opportunity. Jake landed a gig directing a queer youth theater camp in the Gorge. Me cast as understudy in a Portland center stage run of Angels in America. Rehearsals overlapped chaotically. Late nights scripting, early mornings lines. But we thrived on it, collapsing into each other with exhaustion-fueled passion. One emerald evening, post-rehearsal picnic by the Columbia. Blankets spread, wine poured, herons gliding overhead. Jake knelt, ring glinting in the dusk. Not diamond. A woven band of cedar and silver, handmade by a local artisan. Marry me? Not for show. For us, forever rookies, forever captains. Tears blurred the river. Yes, God, yes. The proposal photo, Mia snapped it, eternal busybody. Went viral in our circles, toasts from Tyler, now a graphic designer in Seattle. Best man? Duh. And even a card from Brock, postgrad and reformed. Heard the news. Happy for you, Hayes. Owe you a beer. Wedding planning was a whirlwind. Backyard vows under Doug firs. Mia officiating in a vintage gown. Potluck feast with food trucks and fairy lights. Vows exchanged, mine poetic, his straightforward. You saw me first. I'll spend life returning the favor. Honeymoon. A tent in Olympic National Park. Rain pattering like applause. Bodies entwined under nylon skies. No pretenses, just presence. Years folded forward. Me directing off-Broadway transfers. Jake building a nonprofit for LGBTQ+ youth sports. Fields where kids could run free, no masks required. Portland grew around us. A home woven from threads of struggle and joy. One anniversary, revisiting Santa Monica Pier. Sunset gilding the waves, he pulled me close. Remember the gym? That first flirt. I laughed, wind-tousled. How could I forget? Caught red-handed. Best catch of my life. His kiss salt-kissed and sure. Life's not a straight arc, no tidy bows on conflicts past. Jake's dad passed unexpectedly that winter. Reconciliation incomplete but enough for peace. My plays flopped and soared, his programs funded then cut, forcing reinvention. But through betrayals small, a forgotten callback, and seismic, a health scare, thyroid shadow that passed. We held therapy sessions unpacking closets, date nights quoting Williams, hands linked in hospital waits. Humanistic, they call it, the beauty in the broken. We weren't heroes, just men loving fiercely amid the mess. And in that, we found grace. Our story? No grand finale, just endless acts, dramatic, thrilling, laced with the romance of two souls who dared to drop the act. Decades later, gray threading our temples, we sat on that same porch swing, creaking under wiser weights. Portland had gentrified around us. Craft distilleries where dive bars once stood, but the drizzle remained, a constant companion. Jake, ever the coach, mentored from a desk now, his nonprofit spanning states, fields blooming with rainbow goalposts. Me, a tenured prof at PSU, lecturing on queer narratives, students wide-eyed at tales of 90s grit. Our bungalow brimmed, photos of godkids, Tyler's twins, Mia's adopted brood, playbills framed like medals, a well-worn football on the mantel, signed by those first beta brothers who'd come around, one by one. Think they'd believe it? Jake mused one twilight, nursing a IPA, my cab sauve swirling ruby in the glass. The rook and the captain, still at it. I leaned into him, familiar as breath. They better. It's canon. Laughter rumbled, his arm around me, thumb stroking my knuckle where the cedar ring had worn smooth, replaced but echoed in gold. Regrets, fleeting, missed games, unspoken hurts, but outweighed by abundances. Travels to Provincetown pride, fostering a teen through his coming-out storms. Anniversaries marked with pier walks, no matter the miles. The humanistic core, we're all posers at heart, scripting lives from fragments. Betrayal teaches forgiveness, conflict, resilience, love, the audacity to begin again. Ours ended not in tragedy or tidy happily ever after, but in quiet revolution, the daily choice to see, to stay, to build. As stars pricked the violet sky, Jake kissed my forehead. Love you, Ethan Hayes Harlan. Love you more, Jacob. always the flirt. And in that endless dialogue, our story lived on gay American unapologetically ours.